Today we have our 21-22 batch achievers with us. We are going to discuss their engineering journey, how they have prepared for placements, what are their present challenges. Believe me, if you are interested in your deserving package and job profile, do watch this video till end to have 360-degree placement perspective. There may be few entry-level newbies watching this video. For them, let me elaborate the conventional pattern of hiring. The first phase of assessment test is based on quantitative analysis, logical reasoning, English comprehension, technical MCQs, code snippets, problem statement, test cases. Once you clear this phase, you may have to appear for group discussion and then technical and HR interview. So this is the conventional pattern. So with this prerequisite, let's welcome our achievers. We are really proud of your achievements, your consistent efforts, irrespective of so much of dynamism about Corona, online learning mode, almost negligible peer-to-peer connect, so many and so forth. So genuinely hats off to your patience and congratulations for what you have achieved. So let's start the conversation. So if you observe, now the technical assessment round includes normally the MCQs or code snippets, which are based on fundamental subjects like data structure, object-oriented programming, DBMS, operating system, computer network, problem-solving subject. So keeping the affiliated university learning framework, what should be the approach of learning this subject to value add in addition to what university expects? Over to you.
Good evening, ma'am. Basically the OOPS, that is object oriented programming, gives us the knowledge of how to write the better meaningful and maintainable code, and the data structure gives the knowledge about like how to organize our data in a better way so that we can access it easily. So to learn all this subject, the main and most important thing is to have the basic knowledge of the fundamentals of data structure and the algorithms, because firstly, when you learn the programming concept, you get a bit of confidence that it is something interesting, and I can do that. And to understand all the algorithms and their concepts, so there are many coding platforms or online live tutorials going on the YouTube, so you can refer that, and it will increase your interest in this subject, that it is something interesting, and we can go ahead with this subject. With this, there are many programming challenges organized by various online platforms, where you have quiz competition and the coding competition, hackathon, and all. So all these website boost your confidence, and it also makes you realize that which are the parts where you can improve yourself, and which are the parts where you are good, but you have to do something more to make it best. So according to me, these are the things where one can focus to learn these subjects.
Right. Thank you, Pranali. Rishali, want to add anything?
No, ma'am, I agree with Pranali that we should start from the beginning, clear all our concepts. There are many resources available to learn fundamental subjects like FDS, OOPS, database. Uh, we can also go for the free or the paid courses that are available on Udemy or Coursera websites. They are really helpful. Also, we get the certificates after completing the courses. They will be add-ons in our resume also. So, yeah, I totally agree with Pranali.
Yeah, Pranjal?
Yes. So Yes, as Pranali has mentioned and also Vishali has mentioned some points. Yes, definitely one should follow those things. And the one more thing I would like to add is whatever the concept we have, just relate those concepts each and every, even for the small function, starting with the smallest functions in each concept. So try to relate them in your regular life, regular daily life examples. Like you can understand them very well when you actually relate them in your daily life, so that whenever you are using any kind of function, if that is addition functions, so we are doing addition of many things in our daily life, even from the schedules, or even from the as we can say, as a for example, we will take push and pop the functions. So for that example, we do many things, like we add these things in our batch, we add things in the our schedules, we remove some things from our schedules if it is not working properly. So according to that, relate those things with our daily life, try to understand them with the real time example, so it will be helpful and it will remember forever. So that is what I want to add with those points.
Yeah, great insights. Pranjal, Swamini, you want to add anything?
Yes, ma'am. So talking about subject like OOPS and DBMS, so during my interviews and my placement process, I observed that there's not only importance of having core knowledge like how to code them or how to use them, but their theoretical concepts are also important. So even if you know how to implement them, you need to know the concept clearly, because such subjects are tested in the coding sessions also and in your interviews also. So focus should be on both, and these subjects, since they are into our syllabus, so you get those basic fundamentals from the syllabus itself during your course itself. But for the additional thing you need to practice, for DBMS I would like to suggest websites like Guru 99, where they have really good examples. They have small queries, SQL queries, so you actually get some of those queries in your exams, where they have these small snippets. They'll give you the query, they'll ask you for its output, or else they also give the output. They give you a situation. So this is my table. I want to print this. Please choose one of the options which would be the right query. So such things can be practiced. And for oops also, even in your coding, they have these concepts, and even in your interviews they'll ask. So inheritance, polymorphism, these are like the common questions which you will get. And it is just not the definitions, they'll ask you for examples as well. So they at times also give a situation, like suppose this is a situation, what would be my class, what would be its attributes, what would be its functions, and how the objects would be. So, as Pranjal rightly said, it is important to get some real life examples. They focus on that because that is what you will implement in real life once you join. Talking about OS and networking, I did not see those concepts being asked in all of the companies. There were few companies that did focus on them, like Persistent. They had questions, they had MCQ questions based on OS and networking. So even for Amazon, where they were asking questions on cloud, so even their OS and networking questions were asked. So these subjects are important. For data structures, I would like to say coding is must, but even small things like their complexity, the complexity of the algorithms, uh, these are also important. They ask you about that. They ask you to give examples during the interview. So suppose this is the problem, which data structure would you choose, why would you choose it? So such questions are asked. So focus should be on both, on coding as well as on the theoretical concepts.
Yeah, that's great input by all of you. Now, if you observe the change in the trend, now the logical thinking, the problem solving approach to assess these points, most of the companies are adding competitive programming. So they are giving certain problem statements. You are expected to read that, think about the optimized, the best logic with least time complexity and space complexity. They will give you certain test cases, and all test cases should pass. So this competitive programming, if anything, in addition to syllabus, you have to do it, a bit least priority may be given to this task. So how this competitive programming can be interesting to first year or second year students? Sakshi, you want to add
Perfect.
anything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, I'd like to start. So, firstly, on the basis of the preparation that I have had for my placements, I've seen two basic ways of which you can prepare. First is you are keeping yourself accountable to it and you daily practice it. So, what this is the process that I followed. I've used Geeks for Geeks platform, and there were like three mediums: one beginner level, one medium level, and one hard level. I started with the beginner level, and they would give us problems, and I solved it on a not so consistent basis in the beginning. But then, as the placement pressure started on adding on, I became consistent in practicing it, and it really helped me to get through the logic, because this is something that my seniors used to tell me and my friends from other school, that they don't look for the exact correct code, but they look for the logic with which you're solving the problem, because the technical knowledge is something that they can give you via training post you join them, but they want that problem solving skill and that logic, and that is something that you get via these trainings. So this is step number one, and this is something that I as an individual followed. But second way also is that there are some coding competitions and contests that happen in a consistent basis on a monthly basis by certain different platforms or even companies. So if we apply in that as well, you get a reality check of where you as an individual stand and how can you upscale your performance, and what are the areas that you can work on. And then surprisingly, some of these contests also give you placement. So if you get into their top 100 or top 50, so you can directly get into their placement drives as well. So it depends, first of all, where your confidence level starts. A suggestion from my end would be to personally have like the step number one, that is getting on any of the platform and learning and developing, and then going to the contest. Because if you directly start from the contest and if you don't perform well, that drops down your confidence level, and then you start questioning yourself, and then you just add on that pressure. So I think this is something that I followed, and it helped me, because I was extremely scared of going through this round, because this is one of the most difficult round. So I hope this gives a little more insights and helps the other students who must be listening to this. Thank you.
Prachi, you want to add anything?
Yes, ma'am. Like as we say that competitive, we need to make it interesting. So I would like to suggest to students that take it as a game. Like we have levels in the game: first level, second level. So first 2 to 3 days, motivate yourself to play this game, and after 1 week, you start having that thing that oh my, this level is remaining. I've just got so many stars. There are multiple websites where we can practice programming, that is hackerearth, hackerank, and they have a lot of gifts also, that if you go to a particular level, they have gifts and many more things. So it becomes gift yourself sometime individually. You buy a gift for yourself if you're going, because appreciating yourself is very important at such points. And students need to be motivated, because we need to have a calm and cool nature while we are programming, because there are multiple errors which come due to some minor issue, like whatever it is, syntax error. So we need to be very particular about these things, because as a student these errors might be expected, but as employees they don't expect. Like in one of my interview, the interviewer said that we don't expect such errors at this point. So like it's very difficult for us to take such errors. So students need to be logically strong, as well as they need to have a syntactical knowledge also about one particular language. I would suggest that pick one language and complete the course on that language. What students do is they go for all the languages, and then at interview times they get jumbled, confused. So if they choose one language and play it as a game, it will definitely be enjoyable for them, and they will learn a lot from this. So yeah, this is what I would like to say for competitive programming.
Yeah. Pranjal?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely agree with Prachi and Sakshi inputs. So the actually it is needed for the whenever you are starting for the competitive program. So as I have mentioned in the previous point also that you should relate with the real time examples. So start working with the smallest logic. You don't need to just go on directly or high level logic. Yeah, there are levels in the coding also. So you should start with the easiest level whenever where you have to just add some numbers, division of numbers, subtraction of numbers. Start with this coding by on yourself. We have codes already. Definitely we have taught the basic codes, and when we start with these codings we think like that it is just a basic coding, but no, this easy level coding is going to help you in the highest advanced level coding as a small module parts. So you are going to prepare for module by module for the high coding, like high competitive coding. So it will help you. And even in the exams, they will not give you just okay, so sort this array with the quick sort. No, they will not give you this scenario. They will give you some kind of real type scenario, and then you have to solve that. At that time, you should think that which algorithm will be perfect for this scenario. So you should, whenever you are learning any kind of topic, any kind of logic, whenever you are applying, so just think about that this logic can be used in which kind of scenario, because there is in each and every scenario there are multiple logics you can apply, but you should choose the logic which is actually suitable and easiest for you. So this is what I have for this. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, great insights. So Pranali, are you there?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've whatever they all have mentioned, I'm totally agree with it, that like these things are very important. So with this, I actually wanted to add one thing, that like while coding, like what I have done in my second and third year. So me and my friend used to set a goal of some coding problems, that at the end of the day we have to complete this amount of problems, and we are like at the end of the day we were checking the logic behind the each problem statement. So because of this we get to know that like this problem statement can be solved by this way also, and it is like sometime I get to know that ki, yeah, this is the very right solution, and it has a very less time complexity and space complexity. So studying with your friends and exchanging your like thoughts and logic would also help you to solve many problems. And as Sakshi mentioned that like we get each star after solving some amount of problem on online platforms. So it is a kind of very interesting thing that because of this we get that competitiveness in our while solving the problems, that if she has 5 stars, so I have to get 6 star by this time only. So this is very important. So yeah, online platforms and the basic knowledge of the fundamentals is very important while to make the competitive programming very interesting.
Yeah, wonderful insights by all of you. Okay, so wonderful insights from all of you. So basically, if let's imagine that in your 7th semester, one has to grab the highest company package. So we know that there are a lot of things to do in terms of quant, logical, technical, interview, resume building, so many and so forth. So from first year, first semester, what are your suggestions how one should start preparing for a higher package, for the deserving job description? From first year, first semester, what should be done? First year, second semester, what should be done? Second year, first semester. So how semester wise the preparation can be done? Which part can be covered earlier, which can be covered later? So what are your views about it? So over to you, Madhura.
Yes, ma'am. Talking about such a primitive phase that is in the first semester,
we don't know anything about the opportunities that are present in the industry. For that, we have to build connections, connections on LinkedIn, connections with friends from other schools, or connections with seniors. So this will create an awareness for the students, and they would know about the job opportunities that are present in the industry. So after the students learn about various job opportunities, after that, then only they would decide what job role they have to pursue in the future. So according to different job roles, there is different kind of preparation. So for some profiles like software engineering or for data science, coding is necessary. So one can start, choose any one language and start with the courses of that language in the first and second semester, because in the first and second semester, according to the syllabus, we have some languages in the subject called as FPL. So simultaneously with the college subjects, we can start our preparation for the placements as well. After, in the second year, we can start with competitive coding, because in second year, the subjects such as data structures or object oriented programming, they are introduced. So when the subject is taught in the school, in the college, listening to that subject more, or getting more attention in that subject is necessary, so that we can practice that at home after we come home from the college. So it is necessary that you pay attention in the college as well, and then practice the same subject after you return home. So simultaneous approach is necessary. It is not like just focus on academics and leave the placements aside, or just focus on the placements, then the academics would get burdened, because everyone here is pursuing engineering, so we have a bunch of assignments and projects. So if you put your heart in what you're studying, like in the projects or in different subjects, when they're taught in the semesters, the simultaneous semesters, you can get an edge over others if you have already the knowledge and from your engineering, because it becomes hectic to start all that subjects in your seventh semester. So if you are already aware of all the concepts in your seventh semester, then after a quick revision, you can sit for the interviews, and then focus on your communication skills, or the skills required for technical interviews such as competitive coding. You can focus on that in the later part, but the fundamental subjects, they should be cleared first. Yes, ma'am, that.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So, Sakshi, are you there? Swamini, would you like to give few insights about this?
Yes, ma'am. Like Madhura rightly said, preparation from the first semester is important. So, during our first year, FPL was considered as a side subject, and more focus was on other subjects like mechanics and mathematics, physics, chemistry. So, I would surely suggest that please keep your focus on FPL. Not all students have bifocal subjects like computer science during their 12th. So if you come into the first year, please try to focus on FPL, because initially there are very basic things like structure, union, or what are classes, very basic. So during the first year, if you clear those concepts, you make that base very firm, it would be easier in the second year as well, because then you have higher level of problems, you have real time problems to solve in the assignments you get in your second year. Also, as Madhura said, connecting with your peers, with your seniors, that will help you get an insight of what actually the industry is demanding. And also one thing, like we have seen this with our friends, also with ourselves also, that for communication skills we start during the seventh semester, we focus on it on during the seventh semester. But communication is a thing that would not come to you, you know, in such a short span of time. It will not happen over time. You need a lot of practice, you need a lot of confidence when you face the interview. So I think communication is one thing you can start at the early stage, because competitive programming and stuff would take a lot of time. And in the first year, you are all overwhelmed, or like where to focus, what to focus. You're very new to the process, so getting burdening yourself with those things in the first stage would be a bit tedious. So you can start with small things like connecting to your peers, focusing on FPL, like the basic concepts, and communication also. You can start with that, so that over time it just adds on to your fundamentals. During the second year, as said earlier, that concepts like DBMS, OOPS are introduced. So focus on those things. Whatever is taught into the college, try to implement those. Get a over edge by doing courses on the same thing simultaneously. So there are free courses, there are free tutorials on YouTube, there are playlists on various YouTube channels that can help you. And these channels have videos in Hindi also, in Marathi also, or any other language you are comfortable with. So if you think, okay, I missed this in the college, or this is not a concept which I could get it like 100%. So you can come back home, you can watch those videos, you can get a more tighter hand over it. And in third years, we have these honor courses. So in third years, you can actually go to technologies which are in trend. You can start from the basic. You can start with small internships. And you can start with technologies like AI/ML or data science, deep learning. So at least you get an introduction to what the industry is working towards. And in the final 2 semesters, it is all about revision. It is all about making projects. It is all about highlighting yourself, highlighting your work on different platforms. So this is the thing. I think this is the roadmap which should be followed, which can actually help everybody from the first stage to the last stage.
Perfect, perfect. Srushti, would you like to add something?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to suggest that since you are starting with programming language in first year, I will say keep that language throughout the 4 years, because it will help us in doing the projects at in the third year. So keep one language consistency, because if you are doing with multiple language, it will be a very burden job, and you will not focus on only one particular language. So keep one particular language. And of course, as Swamin and Madhura mentioned about projects and languages and what to do in first year, so I will suggest the same thing.
Yeah, that's great input from all of you. Now, if you see offer as the goal, for getting that offer, there are a lot of factors in terms of have you done internships, technical internships? So are you having a very strong existence contribution on GitHub? Are you having the best score on competitive programming platform, let's say like HackerRank, hackerearth, codechef, etc.? Now you need fundamental subjects understanding for technical MCQs and code snippets. You need logical mindset. You need a problem solving approach for problem statements, the understanding about the template and all those. So if you sort this in the descending order, according to you, which is the highest impacting factor and in getting that deserved offer? So what is most important, then next important, then next important, like that? If you do this sorting, what will be the sequence? Over to you.
So I will say that first main thing is projects, because almost which interviews I have appeared for, almost they were asking about the projects. So I will say that more focus on projects, make maximum projects, make some like attractive projects, like in now in competitive world, the world is towards ML, AI. Make projects on that thing. This is the first priority I will give. Then making your fundamental languages like OOPS database concepts good, because after project they come to check your technical knowledge. So keep the technical knowledge up to date, have all the technical concepts clear, because sometimes it is like optional, like either they ask for project or either they ask for technical knowledge, or both. So these two are on the priority, I will say. And after that, internship and all that thing, I will say internship will be the my last priority, because like we get the technical knowledge, of course, or what is happening in the competitive world. But as per my knowledge, I have appeared for 6 to 7 interviews, and they have more focus on projects and technical knowledge. They have not asked anything like about internship to me. So I will say project and technical knowledge would be the priority.
Yeah, great
In
insights.
that, internships is an application of what technical knowledge we have. So initially, it is very important to have clear understanding about OOP. Any one language introducing OOP would do. Java, C++, Python nowadays, and then implementing those languages in your projects with the help of data structures is the second step to go. So projects is a self-paced thing. So when I do my own projects, I do it on my time with my constructed knowledge. Then once I'm good with a lot of projects and the basic concepts, then I move forward towards the internships. So this is where I get to apply the knowledge that I've applied in my personal projects to a project that is on a higher level. That is a real world project where I get to learn a lot of new things and apply my own knowledge. So I get to spread my horizons basically. So that is where, I mean, not for the purpose of the interview, but for the purpose of my preparation for the interview, I have to do internships. That is what I suggest. And then competitive programming is very necessary if you're going for a higher package. For example, if you're going for a package of 25 LPA or higher, then they check the big O notations. They check all the complexities, time and space complexities involved in your logic, in your code. So that is where competitive programming works. It always gives an upper hand practicing, because 90 minutes time is given and we've got 2 to 3 problem statements to solve. So if I'm thorough with my basics, I don't have to waste time in remembering the basics. I'll just have to concentrate on the problem present in front of me and the logic. So that is a simple way that I'd suggest following.
Yeah, wonderful opinion. Okay, inputs. So, Madhura, would you like to add?
Yes, ma'am. According to Aishwarya, I feel the same thing. Like internships are very necessary because when you start talking about your work in your internship, it gives you an edge over others because uh, projects, like Aishwarya said, projects are done according to your own pace. And the changes we make in the project are according to our own self. What we feel that this will fit in the project, this won't fit. But in the internship, we have a manager or we have some senior authority who tells us what to do, and this is not correct or this is correct. So it helps us in dealing with the pressure which we would be dealing after joining the company. So it is like something, a preparation before the job. The internship is the preparation of before the job. So uh, it helps in clearing the technical concepts as well. And also when you have internships, then you have certain knowledge about if you think that software engineering is just coding, then it is not just coding, it is many different things. Once you join an internship, then you would get an exact idea what actually the job is. So I think that internships are very necessary, and I give it the highest priority that we should focus on internships, because focusing on internships would make the technical subjects more easy for us, because implementing the knowledge you get in the technical subjects, the application of that's what we do in the internship. So it is far more it has a far more priority than just doing projects or completing courses. So yes, I think that internships are also necessary along with courses, because in courses you get the knowledge about the subject and we implement that knowledge in the internships. So yes, I think that internships are necessary, and courses or different projects are also necessary in deserving a career you like.
Yeah. So with internships, your empathy, you can understand what is users'
Yes.
expectations, and the professional culture you understand about the proposed work environment. You have a feel of that. You can understand that one. So that's a great input. So Prachi, any insights?
Yes, ma'am. As Madhura and Aishwarya are already spoken about the internship, I would say that in regards to internship, we should also have some extra X factor with us, because the company asks you that I am taking the interview of all the students who have studied the curriculum which you have studied. So why should I hire you? What you have such a quality that I should hire you? Because everyone knows the same subjects, everyone has gone through the same exam, everyone is learning same. So I would say that keep something extra with you, or keep something unique, extraordinary knowledge with you, with regards to technical knowledge I'm speaking. If we have something extra, like there are multiple AWS courses and which give you a lot of knowledge, so if we do such courses and we are able to answer the questions asked regarding that, so it becomes easy for us to put an impression on the interviewer, and to get a dream job also it becomes easy for us. So I think that having that factor is
Yeah,
important.
yeah, definitely that X factor. We will look forward to have that X factor as you mentioned.
Yes.
Vrishali, Swamini.
Yes, ma'am. Uh,
Yeah, Vrishali, can you turn on your camera? Or bandwidth issue is there?
uh, Ma'am, actually, there is bandwidth issue. I'm afraid that I might get disconnected.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So please continue, Vrishali.
Yes, ma'am. Rightly as Prati said that we should have an X factor while we appear for the placement. I feel that students should do the internship because they get more familiar with the competitive world and also the real corporate life. Also, like Madhura said that when we do our project, we do it as per our convenience. So we might choose an easy one or which is non-important one. So an internship or while doing a sponsored project for the third year or the fourth year, the final year project. Um, so students should do internships and I feel that for the final year project, students should opt for the sponsored project as they get a technical guide from the company end. That is very that is very helpful for the students in gaining knowledge in different domains. Also, we get to know that what companies do in the projects, how they work there. Also, we get to implement many things in internships. We are exposed to the corporate people, and also competitive programming is also part in the internships and the sponsored projects. Also, the platforms like HackerRank and hackerearth are very good for the competitive programming as they have different levels for competitive programming like easy, medium, hard. Also, we can choose subjects as per our convenience like DBMS, MySQL, like optimizing algorithm. We can also participate in their weekly contests. The contest also might be helpful in getting the placements, showing your activeness in the programming or the coding part. This might be asked also in the interviews, or the technical interviews, or in the HR interviews. So I feel that internships and doing coding on the competitive platforms like HackerRank, codechef will be valuable for the upcoming batches.
Okay, that's great, Vrishali. Swamini.
Ma'am, I would like to sort on how the placement process goes. So, initially, a technical would be the highest priority because since there are multiple rounds, on the very first round, you are questioned on a technical, and even on the coding and the interview. So it goes on till the first round till the last round. So you have to have those fundamentals clear, and if you have your fundamentals clear, only then you'll go on to projects and internships. So our highest priority would be on fundamentals. Then if you are planning for higher packages, then competitive coding. And if are coding rounds, so platforms like codechef, hackerearth, you have medium or easy level problems also, so you can solve them. So you get a confidence, you get an exact idea what kind of questions are actually asked. So programming on competitive platforms is also necessary. And third would be project and internship, because as you pass through these initial rounds of aptitude or coding, you go to the interview phase. And in the interview, what they actually see is your resume, and most of the questions are from your resume: what projects you have implemented, what internships you have done during the academics. And not for the internships, but for the projects, they have definitely asked. And if that person is from a domain in which you have done a project, he is going to ask you a lot of questions, he or she, whoever it may be. They'll ask for from basic things to medium paced things, like what algorithms did you use, why did you choose this project, or what platforms did you use. All these things are asked. And even for the resume writing, I would suggest that one thing is must: your resume should be not, if not many things, whatever you have done, put it precise, don't fake anything. And whatever you have written on your resume, please make sure you prepare for that before the interview, because this was my personal experience. I had mentioned about web development, and since for all other companies, there was no focus on web development a lot. It was mostly on, oops, DBMS or AIML. So for that one interview, I did not prepare at all for web development. And the person who was interviewing me was a full stack developer, and he started asking questions for everything about web development. There was no data structure, no oops, no DBMS. So if you're writing something in your resume, make sure that you prepare well for that. Even if you know it, if you're not prepared at the last moment, if you're not clear with, if you're not able to recollect those things, you're going to mess up and you're going to lose the opportunity. So on my priority list, the resume would also be there. So that is the order: the technical, your competitive programming, your projects, and your resume. These would be my priorities.
That's great for sorting all those things. Now, let's see. Now, your seventh semester has been started, and most of you have experienced that. One after the other on the group, you are getting the opportunities. And it happens that it is not in the serial fashion. Ki today it is posted, tomorrow you have written test, day after tomorrow, the result interview is there, and next 3-4 days your result is declared. It may not happen in the serial fashion. So sometimes the interview is after 1 week, the result is declared after 15 days, and in between there are many A, B, C, D companies which are coming in between. So keeping the track of this overwhelming company opportunities is genuinely challenging. So any tips for our juniors to keep the track and not to miss any opportunity? Over to you, Akansha.
There were times when I used to appear for different companies, and their procedure was going on at the same time. And it was very overwhelming at first. Juniors will face the same problem as with academics plus internship and placement. The best thing which I did and I will suggest is to keep track of every schedule in calendar. So first, you will not miss the date. Plus, you know what is going on and what you have to prepare for that, and to prepare in advance in such a way that you need just few hours for revision. For example, for aptitude, practice it and keep notes like for formulas and important points to revise at the last moment. Then for technical interview, there is India Bix, where you can quickly go through basic interview questions on different topics. And if you studied that and have quick notes, then it is well and good. For HR, have the outline of the answers for the common questions which every HR interview asks. And revise it once. So every time you don't have to think a lot before answering in the interview. This will help you to for better performance, irrespective of your schedules, or at the time of emergencies. You can prepare well, and it will not be as much overwhelming as you are prepared well in advance. So I would suggest that to the juniors.
Yeah, great, great. Aishwarya, would you like to add?
Yes, ma'am, sure. So I completely agree with all of Akanksha's points. Preparing well in advance always helps. But there'll be an addition that I'd like to do is that do not appear for each and every offer that is present. Choose job profiles that you would like to appear for. Study the companies well, study whether they match your requirements. I mean, of course, after your interview, the company is going to choose you, but you first need to choose your company, right? You'll have to choose and appear for certain companies that you're comfortable with, that you know well, whose work culture you have to study in advance, so that you'll apply only for those companies, so that the overlapping between different roles or different rounds won't be there. So choose a job role, choose certain five to six companies that you're comfortable to work with or that you dream to work with, and then go ahead for those interviews only. Because what happens is if you prepare for a lot, you cannot prepare well for one. So when you divide your attention, ultimately both of the companies will lose. It's like stepping on two boats at a time. Ultimately, you'll drown. So instead, choose a one big ship instead of two small boats.
Yeah, yeah, that's great input. Aishwarya has almost started our next question where we were thinking about ki there are A, B, C, D, E, all consecutive companies coming, keeping track, the best ideas Aishwarya as well as Akanksha has given you. But again, whether to appear for all sequentially or whether to choose, give more preference to job role which is mapping your interest, or salary package, or sometimes location. For few of the location, majority of the students are not ready. Okay, so what should be the best criteria to choose the company? Aishwarya has already started, so any addition of input from Aishwarya's end with respect to this question?
Exponential growth in the package. So I suggest focusing on the job role and mapping your interest and expertise with the company's requirements.
Yeah, Sakshi, would you like to add anything?
Yes, ma'am. I absolutely agree with Aishwarya because when the placement drive started, I missed out on few of the drives because I was like 4 lakh, 5 lakh. I want to sit for higher more. And I think after that, after having conversation with few of the people who are already working, they're like package is something that should be your least preference. You need to understand first what do you as an individual enjoy, because you need to love what you do, and the money would come, but the satisfaction, if it doesn't come, that money would make no sense. So firstly, it's very difficult to understand that what do you as a person like in terms of jobs. So a lot of research and talking to people who have different roles is something that really well helps you in understanding that what exactly the companies have to offer, what exactly this industry has to offer. And then after that, if you feel like, okay, for example, this is a domain that might interest you, this is a domain that you feel that you would be able to perform well, then start reading about it, start preparing yourself about it. And that is something that I did as well. I searched up for the role of data analyst, and that was a field that interested me. And then when Standard Charter came with that role, I was like, okay, I can give this role a shot because I know a little about it and I do have interest about it as well. And that is something that I consistently had shown in my interview as well, that this is something that I might not be the best at, but I would give my 100% to learn and catch up. So, firstly, understanding your needs, and then on the basis of that, trying in, as Aishwarya has covered it beautifully. If you love it and if you are working on it, the package would come in automatically. So always give preference to your like option, point number one, and then to the exposure that the given company gives, because the more the exposure that you have in, the better it makes you as a programmer or as any job holder in the companies or the industries.
Yeah, that's great. Akanksha? Unmute yourself. Akanksha. Yeah.
Sorry,
Now,
sorry. I would say that I would say the same words as Aishwarya and Sakshi said. For appearing, first I see the job role. Mainly, my aim is to look for the company where I will grow. If I can learn, and I think the salary package is secondary because quality of work follows money. If you learn and know a lot, you increase your value. So yes, if a job role is in your interest, then you should choose that company and appear for that.
yeah, yeah, that's great. So, Vrishali, would you like to add anything?
No, ma'am. Already Sakshi and Aishwarya
Yeah,
have
yeah,
told very nicely.
yeah. Pranjal?
Yes, ma'am. Already, I think so. All of these people has covered many such points. Would like to add just one thing that whenever it comes to the job profile, so first focus on that what you have learned before applying for that company or applying for that job. So whatever you have learned, so just go for that technologies or that company which using this same technology, because see if you have learned something, definitely you should apply that somewhere. It will be more happiness that you are actually learn something and you are applying that in your in some project or in some, actually you're giving some inputs outputs from that, right? So your efforts will be not wasted in that way. So definitely first try to map that which companies or whether the job profile is actually using or actually contains the technologies or the knowledge you have learned. At
Okay,
least yes,
Madhvi.
definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello.
Madhvi, Srushti, Prachi, any point missed
Yeah,
out and you want to add?
yeah, ma'am, I will just list out the priority to choose the company. So first is selecting between a service-based company and product-based company. I think one should go for product-based because you will learn a lot in the product-based company. And after the selecting product-based or service-based, there comes a point what job role they are offering. Is that that you like the job role or not? And then is the least priority of this salary package. Yeah, this is all I want to add.
Prachi,
Thank you.
anything else?
Yes, ma'am. As Shushti said, that we need to see the company also, the company's name also. That is it a startup or a MNC company? We need to look to that parameter, and then we may go for the job description, job role, and the salary, and then the location. So these are the aspects which affect for us to choose between the companies.
Yeah. So if you go into second year class and ask them, ki, what kind of an profile would you like to uh, follow as a your career, everyone will say that I would love to become developer. So no one will say that I would love to become taster. Okay. Somewhere else there is certain belief system that, let's say, testing job is a bit lower than development job. This is a belief system, conventional belief system, we can say. Maybe data analyst is or business analyst a bit lower than a data scientist. Okay. So do you think that there should be a change in the mindset of students in terms of when they are choosing about which job profile to apply? Over to you, Swamini.
Yes, ma'am. This is a personal thing. Like this is I have been through this in last 2 3 months. So initially, whenever a company gives you a job profile, mostly it is like software engineer or project engineer or something like that. So they never mention on which development phase from the life cycle you'll be working on. Once you get onboarded, only then they specify, okay, you'll work on this, you'll work on this, or you'll work on development, you'll work on testing, or you'll work on some other domain, whichever is feasible for the company. There's no choice, unfortunately, but you'll have to work. So one thing which I noticed since I've been through the training in the last 3 months, it is not that the testing field is less than the developer field. or it is not like some data analyst is lower than the data scientist. It's not that. Every phase has an equal importance in the development life cycle, and every person included in the development process has a lot of importance. And it is not that nowadays, since companies are working on the agile platform for development, it is not that okay, development is done and now you do testing. No, it is like one phase done, do the testing, one phase done, do the testing. So testers are involved throughout the life cycle. And it is not that okay, you're bad at coding or you don't, your fundamentals are not strong, so that is why you've been put into testing. No, there are people with very good coding and fundamental skills placed in testing. Because see, if you are given that place to correct someone or to find fault in someone's work, your base and your knowledge should be actually very strong, so that you correct or you find faults in someone. So this perception which we have, that okay, the testing phase of a field is not for for the top ones, it's not that. And it is not also about, the package. They are paying me the same thing what my peers are being paid in the development phase. And one thing I would say that, see, if you are thinking about going on with the same job profile for your entire life and you don't want to go for testing, okay, just reject the job profile. But if you want to experiment, if you are planning for masters after some time, you can switch after your masters, whatever you like. If you don't like that phase, it's kind of an experiment. You just go into that thing. If you don't like it as it is after masters or some other studies, you're going to switch. Or at times, you'll start thinking, okay, the job is okay, I'll go for my startup. So it is no hard and fast rule that okay, you've started with something and you have to continue with that throughout your life. People actually shift from technical to management also. So there is an option even in the companies. Even if you want to be into the technical thing only, there are opportunities for shifting from testing to development, or development to designing, anything. So it is not, so please don't reject a job just because it is from a profile which you don't like. It might happen that eventually after getting into that thing, you find that thing interesting. So you're getting paid well, you find it interesting, and even if you don't find it interesting, you can switch.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a permanent job, then don't take a job profile which you don't like. But if you are ready to experiment, if you are ready to go for multiple options, you can go for such job profiles. There is no harm in that.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you, Swamini. Akanksha, would you like to add?
Yes, as we talked about, job profile is very important. So, choosing the right one from the start will be better if we know our interest. If we don't know a lot, as if we say that testing is not that good than development, but there are chances that we don't really know what exactly testing is giving us, what the exposure or knowledge it is giving us. So every domain have their technologies and all. It may interest someone and it may not. It depends on individual if they want to go there, and if they know that this is what I want to do, or they have the exact path, like they want to be in a DevOps engineer or developer. So from the start they can reject it. But if they have the mindset to explore and to learn, as she said, we can switch at any time we want. But it will be better if you know what exactly you want to go into and learn and explore, as every field have thousands of things and new knowledge and technology to learn. So I would say that knowing yourself will be the best to choose the job role.
Yeah, that's wonderful insights. So, Pranjal, are you willing to add anything else, or almost all points are over by Swamini? Yeah, Pranjal.
Uh, yes, ma'am. Is it audible, ma'am, clearly?
Yeah,
Hello.
like the mindset, na? Specifically, we are saying that the testing job is lower than development. This is what the conventional mindset. So, do you feel that that need to be changed?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. It should be changed because it is not necessary that you will, if you are working in the developer field, so it will be you are at great position or you are working in the another field. So no, even front end and the back end both have their most preference. So just actually, as Akansha has already mentioned, just know yourself, know your interest, and even though you are not aware about your interest, when you are actually implementing the mini projects, when you will come to know about your projects, when you are actually in at college level, there are many mini projects you have to implement. So at that time, it will help you to actually analyze that in which phase you are actually interested. You are working on the front end, you are interested in working on the front end, or whether you are interested in working on the back end, or whether you are interested in the do the test cases or testing of that things or debugging. So it will actually give you the insights of your interest that how you should move further. So please, it is not just a part of curriculum, so just focus on these mini projects also if you are not aware about that much of your self interest. So that's what I would like to.
Yeah, great inputs from all of you. If you can recall your engineering journey from second year, you have been informed, or we have tried to create the awareness about how is the placement procedure, what preparation is required, but still for a normal student, the priority, we understand you are too busy in your first year and second year assignments and project and everything. So, but still the highest priority will be given normally in fifth or sixth semester, whereas you realize that it's very less time and you have a lot of things to do. So, can you suggest few smart tips where within least duration one can go for product company and one can go for service company? If in our campus any service company is expected to appear, what should be the smart way of preparation? And if it is product company, what will be that smart preparation with least time and highest possibility of getting the offer? Okay, so Madhura, are you there? Okay, Aishwarya?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Yeah.
Am I audible and visible?
Yeah. Your
Okay,
video is clear, audio is as well clear. Yeah.
great, great. Okay, so normally I'd say service based or product based, any sort of company, there's a certain preparation. I, there's a certain preparation agenda that I made for myself that I'd like to share. So our curriculum is designed very nicely, and in fact, the improved curriculum of 2019 is another level good because they've got a semester dedicated for internships as well, right? So that is where that semester is the most important semester because that is where the students will get an insight about the difference between interviews for service based and product based. So what happens is when we are interviewing viewing for a service based company, they normally ask us questions only related to languages because they just have to provide services. They do not have to create something new, right? And when you're going for a product based company, they'll ask you everything about starting from operating systems, then DSA, then your preferable language, then concepts like virtualization, concepts like multiple devices working on a single thing. Or they may ask you the most recent technology that you're working on. So there they expect answers like artificial intelligence or data analytics. So this is the major difference between a service based and a product based company. So product based company that I interviewed for was Amazon, and it was fabulous. The interview went so well. I mean, the questions asked were of another level. The difficulty is a little higher than service based companies. So I'd suggest for product based companies, dig deeper into a certain topic. For example, you do not have to serve that topic. You have to know the nitty-gritties of that topic through and through. Because the more you know, the more they dig.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So, great input, Akanksha.
Yes, as Aishwarya said, for product base, they mainly want the person who knows everything in depth. And for if you want to cover topics like OS, DSA, they're not going to ask just basics. They're going to go in deep of every answer which you are going to give. So they want to check how clear your basics are, plus your how well you code. They are not just asking if you get the solution or not. They will ask for optimization or any other alternatives. They will check how you think if you are given some problem statement. Whereas in service based, mainly what they ask is basic questions on every single topic. That is what I have seen in many interviews, which they mainly ask. For even coding, they ask basic questions for code and for logic. But product based companies, the difficulty is a little bit more, and they expect good answers. Plus, they want to know how vast your knowledge is. So, I would suggest learn in deep for product based companies. For service based companies, know lot of topic and their basics.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. So we can say it is like a T, whereas the horizontal line about T, if you do it, then you are fit for service based.
Yes.
At any particular point, you are able to go deep, like a vertical bar of T. Probably you are fit for product based companies. So great input, Aishwarya, Akanksha. So normally, if we see, we have initially, as we mentioned in the prerequisite, that there is a certain pattern, that it will be quant, it will be logical, it will be your technical MCQs, it will be code snippets, it will be problem statements, it will be interview, technical, HR also. So except these, anybody have faced any special round? And can you share the experience associated with that kind of a special round? Over to you.
Ma'am, may I?
Yeah, Pranjal, would you like to add?
Hello. Yes. So for the rounds, as the basic rounds are logical, quant, after that we can see like there are basic programming questions are there, right? So after this, there was one round which I have faced. I'll also talk about the how you should for this logical and all these things. So first we'll talk about this logical, verbal, and form. These are the main, we can say, three basic foundations of the rounds. So these rounds will be there for the most of the companies. It can be possible also that these rounds are not there. It is just the one or two companies which are there. For the other, there will be rounds for these questions in the aptitude section. So how you should prepare that, rather than wasting the time on this section in your last year or in the last semester or during the actual placement period. So you should start basic foundation for these sections from your first year only. So what you will do is when you actually start from the 2-3 questions for each section, you will till the sixth semester or till the placement time, you will be able to solve at least starting of the advanced level questions. So it will help you from if you will prepare from the first year only. And for the special round which I have faced during my Capgemini, so there was coding round also, coding question, MCQ. So first was the data structure MCQs, and the I think so how much I remember, there was the questions regarding and or operation. We only think that this and an or operation will be there only in the digit thing. No, it's not like that. So it was there, but it was just the initial phase. When we actually move for the second round, there was a round for the gaming round. So this gaming round is the specialty of this gaming round. They are actually checking your ability to solve the things or to deal with the things, how you are able to grasp that new phase or grasp the new ground or grasp that new physical logic very efficiently. So this is what I feel. And even there was the behavior, even we can see, just a minute now, sorry for interrupt.
So, Swamini, would you like to add? Pranjal will interrupt us again. Swamini?
Yes, ma'am. As Pranjal said, so Capgemini, we had this gaming round along with the logical quant and the coding round. So it was like kind of puzzles. It was basically to check your IQ test. It was kind of an IQ test. So your problems were like one which I remember was there is a small display like a rectangle, and there are some dots, and some of those dots only few are highlighted, and after those highlights there is a video or some other display, and again the rectangle is appeared, and you have to just point out, you have to click on the positions of the highlighted dots. So such kind of games, or there were puzzles where there is a kind of a path, and you have to find the shortest path for the ball to reach the goal. So such kind of gaming round was there for Capgemini for the base package, and for Standard Chartered and Amazon, I remember that the first round was like, kind of testing your how you would deal with situations, a situation based testing. So they had played some video, and they had given us a situation. Suppose this happens, and you have to deal with the customer, or you have to deal with your business partner. So what actions would you perform? So this kind of rounds were there for Amazon and Standard Chartered. So the logical quant things are also important, but even some companies have this additional filter. So you have to be prepared for that, because for the gaming round, I would say there is no way to get familiarized with the platform. There are only few YouTube videos which show you how the platform is, and how, because everything is new, you don't know where to click, where not to click, where to surf, where not to surf, where to scroll down and stuff. So familiarize yourself if you're and mainly just go through YouTube videos which will tell you about the various stages of placement for each company. So if you've applied for a company, go for YouTube, go for Google, find out what phases they have for their placement, and try to get insights on how these tests are taken, what platforms they use, and what is the thing you should focus on. So these are some additional rounds which I faced during the interviews.
That's wonderful input. Sakshi, would you like to add anything?
Ma'am, I think Swamini covered. I had sat for Amazon and Standard as well, where I saw the additional round. What Swamini mentioned was the additional round for Amazon. For Standard Chartered, the additional round was of cultural assessment, because they, as a bank, focus very well on how they treat their customers and solve their problems. So that specific test was not seeing our technical knowledge, but was seeing our approach of dealing with the customers and their needs. It was extremely simple. There was no specific preparations need as well. You just had to think from the perspective of, if the customer needs something, how would you help them out and give them the most efficient solution as the company that you're giving them the service to. And I think apart from that, the technical rounds and everything is normal, but we had like two technical rounds, where first one focused as normal, like seeing which language you're comfortable in and the technologies and everything, and second was more of a project centric. So this like gave me a lesson that the mini projects that you work on in third year are extremely crucial, and not only the projects that you work on third year, but ensure that from second year or maybe first year itself you start working on mini projects, or you start making projects on the domains that you have interest in, and that really helps you give an edge over the other people who are in the process as well, because you have hands-on experience and they don't. and the company really looks out to people who have experience and who have implemented something or the other on their own, so that impresses them a lot, and then that gives you an edge, and might as well a better package if you have done like some good number of projects, because they know that you have not just read it theoretically, but it's practical implementation as well, and you know how to use it in the best way possible. So that sets a really good impression. So these were the things that I had observed.
Ma'am, would like to add one point.
Yeah.
The round which I have faced, that is the behavioral round. It is also the part in the pattern of MCQ only. So during the Capgemini, like it was my first time for facing that round, behavioral round. So what was there is, would like to just highlight one thing, that there was the scenarios, positive and negative, and the same question was there with just some jumbling words. So be alert whenever you are whenever you are answering any questions, because they are going to check your each and every ability with different kinds of rounds. So behavioral rounds, one of the rounds where they are actually checking whether you are uh, whatever answer, suppose you have answered for that same question positive, and after some time the question is just with some jumble, so you are answering in a negative way. So there the answer differentiate. You should be alert about that things, and be ready for each kind of rounds. So that's what I
Yeah,
would like
that's
to.
great input from all of you. Now, if you see this year's placement scenario, it is becoming more and more student oriented. So I feel you are like a princess or prince, and you have multiple options with you, and you have to choose one of the options. So the choice is at your end. Okay. So specifically, when you have such multiple offers with you, how you decide, is it based on the location, is it based on the salary package, is it the one who start training earlier based on that, or any other point? So over to you, Pranali.
Yeah, ma'am. The excitement and the relief that we feel like when we receive the job offer is way different. Like, but it doesn't mean that we were so like too quick to accept the offers. But the risk of saying yes to the job that we are not suited to, or that could end up like serving us badly. So like the first important point to focus on while selecting the job for you is that what we can say, the role that company is offering you, that will this role is challenging to you, or will it enable to grow you more, or will it expose new experience for you. So all these things you should keep in mind before accepting the role. So role plays a very important role. Secondly, on the basis of my experience, when I got placed in 3 companies, I was very confused, like what to do next. So I talked to my parents, some of my cousins and professors as well. So they have suggested that first initially you research about the company, like study the company. So like that was the time where I have to play some detective role, like before accepting the job offer. I had investigate about the company. I read multiple comments on the social media that to know more insight about the particular organization. So actually this will help you to segregate or to apply a filter, like now this tick mark, tick mark. So yeah, so this is very important. Thirdly, the benefits and the perks that companies offering you, like in terms of insurance, leave, incentives, etc. So you should focus on these things also, and obviously salary and package too. So yeah, and the most important thing that I had kept in my mind, that is the amount of time that my new job will take up, like beyond the core hours. It can be difficult to judge, but you should keep this point in your head that I know sometimes it happens that we work for more than 8 hours or 12 hours, but at some point
Okay.
or it can lose your confidence, so I think these are the points that one can focus on before selecting any kind of job offer.
Great. Srushti?
She covered many points. Just the thing is, as she said, filter. We need to filter not only all the role and that thing, but location is also most important part, because if we are having package less and our location is somewhere different, so we can't afford it. So the location is also one more factor I would like to add. Then next, what she said about the culture. See the company culture, company working hours. Is there it is over good environment? It is the important thing. Role is also the on the first priority, of course, but the working environment of the company, is company pressurizing the employees for doing work or not? This all factors are also important to research. Get contact with your seniors for that. That get their experience, seniors, the our relatives in the IT industry. Take all the information of that company and then decide which offer to accept. That only I would say.
Yeah, that's great input. Prachi, would you like to add anything?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to say that while choosing a company, we need to be careful regarding the company also, and also the job role. We need to see the description of the job role and does it suits us accordingly. We need to consider the points and select a particular role. And obviously, as a fresher, salary would be the last option for us. And location we can keep on the second last choice, because the location is the very last thing we get to know. Firstly we get to know the job role and then the company. So we also need to look to the work culture, and if you have some connections in the company, we would recommend that it's better you communicate with those people to get the reality inputs. Like on social media you can't trust nowadays. If there are some connections which are actually existing in the company, that may help you a lot to get the real feedback.
Yeah, that's great insights from all of you. Now, if we see specifically for your batch, as we mentioned, you all are prince and princess. So the placement procedure becomes so student centric. In this particular competition, every employer have started their training in their eighth semester only. So this is the first batch in which we are experiencing these things, that you have to manage your training of respective employer. At the same time you have to manage academics. So a mega project of 200 marks, and the 5 subjects and respective practicals. So it might be very, very hectic for you to manage parallelly both these things. So any tips regarding how you have managed these things? Pranali, would you like to add? Pranjal?
Yeah, ma'am. Like initially it was very hectic phase, because it was whole lot of new experience for us, because you have to do the college thing also, you have to do the company thing also. And in this, like this was the phase of our life where we can't miss out anything, because I can't avoid the college thing also and I can't avoid the company thing also. So keeping the track of each and everything happening around you, so it was very difficult. And but I would like to mention one thing, that it gave a very good experience to all of us, that how we should manage the multitasking thing, how we should manage the frustration while doing, like while working on 3 or 4 different things. But we should be calm before, like we should calm while interacting persons related to that thing or that project. So it was very good experience, but yeah, I would say good. And but after some days, like 15 20 days, we could able to keep a pace or a track of each and everything. Like we we have become the pro in it. Like, yeah, I could do that and I could do this also, so yeah, that's fine. So yeah, this is the way that we have managed internship, college thing, project, and everything.
Yeah, great, smart techniques, Pranali. Pranjal, would you like to add how you manage teaching and
Yes,
training? Yeah.
definitely, ma'am. Actually, Pranali has actually very well covered that thing. It is little bit hectic in this starting, yes, because actually it is also new for us that how to we are entering into the official, like we will see commercial life also, and even we are dealing with the college life also. So at that time, it was a little bit hectic in the starting, but yes, we as there was a support from both the side, so it was we have passed through that. But for that also, I'll suggest that you should actually manage your time very properly, because it is needed in every fact. It is needed in every whenever you go. It is needed. Time management is very needed in every aspect. So be aware about your schedule, and when you have to actually manage these two different kind of worlds, or commercial world and your college work, so you should actually be professional, behave like professional, or at least started you should start behaving like a professional, and you should manage your time very well. One more little experience I would like to share over here, that I have actually volunteered during the placement preparations. I was already placed, but I have actually volunteered for the Vodafone placement. So that experience has come handy for the role, because in that current batch, even though there are lots of peers from the different locations, still I'm really able to manage and coordinate with those peers. So I would like to thank to Pranoti ma'am for that opportunity. Actually, it has really come handy in experience for that this new role, because CR in your college life, or representative in your in that comfort life, it is different thing. And when you are actually coordinating with the people who are not in the we are not in physical contact, and you are just contacting with them online virtually, and you don't know even each other's actual parameter behavior, so it is actually very difficult, but that experience has actually come handy for me. So thank you once again, ma'am.
My pleasure. Srishti, any tips to manage?
Yes, ma'am. I'm so desperate to give the tips. I will say get a good friend in touch in the college. Ask him all what is going on. Like, take a schedule of what is going on in the college. That is important, because as we are not present in college doing virtually the training, it get difficult to know that what is happening in the college. And at last moment, giving the submissions and all thing is really a hectic job. So get a good friend who will give you all the what is happening in the college thing. Then now in training part, like we have the recordings with us, but the thing is we are missing a lot things during the training, as we need to attend sometimes the college for important events like exam and all. So please, I will suggest don't miss the training, or if you miss the training, do Saturday Sunday sit and do the training part which you have missed, because we have the project going on in the training section, and I have missed lot of training sections during the INSEM and all. So it is getting difficult for me to understand what tech skills or what is the requirement to this, and it is getting little frustrating thing for me right now. So I will say don't miss the training, as well as manage your academics. Our college is very good, that supportive, like we got the opportunity to attend the training. So I will be thankful for you, for us to give him this opportunity, and especially you, because you are the main the which was concerned about us and asked the requested the HOD sir. So thank you so much. That's the thing I would like to suggest.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Prachi, would you like to conclude our today's discussion?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to say that obviously managing both the things is very difficult, but believe in yourself that you can do it, and learn to take decisions situationally. When situation comes where we have to choose between two, we are very good at taking the decisions. Be quick enough, and then you may take a decision that where you are more in need in the training or in college. So, and ma'am, today's discussion was really very nice. We got an opportunity to share our views, and it would really be very helpful to the juniors. And would like to thank you throughout the placement procedure. You were very supportive. Every opportunity was brought to us like a cherry on a cake. So, thank you so much, ma'am. Like, if we have a good placement rate, it just because you have coordinated well to us. So thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, that's a very honest sharing by all of you. Genuinely, thank you so much, each and everybody who was sharing who was contributing their experiences for juniors. It will be really wonderful if they implement that, if they listen to that guidance and implement that. That will be definitely leading us to certain product based companies and towards higher package. Okay, so keep connected always. Good luck for your future endeavor. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am.
Thanks to all juniors.
Yeah.